Right, happy Thursday. Wanted to share something that was channeled during one of my sessions last week. I was speaking to a sister who is very creative, very ambitious, has, like many of us, been conditioned or raised to let's see, how can I say it? To go after her goals and dreams and visions in the way that many of us have, which is, effort, feeling oftentimes like not doing enough, feeling insecure about whether she should be doing more or is not living up to her fullest potential and those type of things. And we have all been, I won't say all, many of us have been conditioned in that way. Because first of all, we find ourselves judging ourselves according to how much money is in the bank, how many things we have, how many degrees we have, comparing ourselves to other people our age or other people our, status, those type of things. And so we'll see one person achieving in one way, compare it, and society has us doing that because it'll give us data like the average 40-year-old or the average 50-year-old makes this or that, or you can look around at your group of friends and be like, well, they have this and they have that. And so I felt at a point in the session compelled to say, listen, sis, we have to be careful with always reaching for excess. We could, in the present moment, in the here and the now, look at our lives and see that we're good. Our bills are paid, We may not be at the level of wellness that we want to be at, but we're fairly well, Our relationships may not be what we truly want them to be, but we are at peace, or could be. We have the tendency to always want more, want different, want better. And now a part of that is natural because we are creative beings. We are children of the Creator. So as children of the Creator, we are creators as well. And so we are constantly going to have a feeling to want to expand, to want to create. But here's the issue. Oftentimes in that space where we're desiring to expand or have more or experience differently, we're not grateful for what we have in the here and the now. We're not at peace with what we have in the here and the now. We're in resistance of what we have in the here and the now. And the issue with that is resistance creates the trouble, the struggle. It also creates the upward hill battle, the upward stream battle. So you find yourself stagnant. You find yourself not really getting anywhere. You could be making more money like you want to, and because you're still in resistance, because your mind is like, I want this, I want this, I want this. You don't even realize that exactly what you wanted a year ago, you got it. You don't even realize that the prayers you prayed a year ago, they've been answered because you're quite steeped in the desire for more. And so I said this to her. I said, let's think about nature, because I'm always trying to compare things to nature. And I found out yesterday that that's a nice chime. Yesterday that there's a dead spot where I'm walking, and it's kind of coming up, so FYI. But anyway, I told her, think about this. I'm always comparing to nature because to me, nature is the best example of God and God's character and the way God works, this thing we call God. Another way to say God, life. Another way to say God, grace. So I always look to nature to study what God's grace looked like, what what life looked like according to the principles and the laws and the tendencies of God. So I said, let's look at nature. Everything is what it is in the here and the now. I doubt that a bird, a tree, a bee is constantly wanting more. It is where it's at. It has its needs, and it knows its needs is provided. It's where it's at, and it's in whatever phase it's in, and it's doing whatever it needs to do. It's never trying to fight for its leaves to stay during the fall. It's never trying to fight to live during the winter. It's never trying to, it's never like battling the sun through the summer. It's where it's at. It's accepting in where it's at. And everything that's necessary for it to be whatever it is, in whatever phase it is, and whatever state it should be in, and whatever it needs to happen, it's always confident that it is. It just flows in life with a knowing that the worms are available, that the leaves will grow back, that the fruit will bloom, that the soil will give it what it needs. It's always present in the now and in gratitude. However, when you look at nature, when things start to happen in excess, okay, I just walked through the dead spot and it didn't do anything. When things start to happen in excess, so if it rains in excess, then damage is done. If the sun is in excess, then the plants get burned. Can y'all still hear me? I'm by the main road, y'all. Washington Road, East Perk. When it's too sunny, then the plants will get burned. So in the garden, we have to cover the crops or do some shade covering on our hoop houses. We have to put the shade on it. Ooh, baby, we noisy, honey. I'm sorry, y'all. Give me a second. Hang tight. Thank you for your patience. Hang tight. Thank you for your patience. If the plates of the earth move a little too much, we experience an earthquake. If the mixture of water and wind and air is too much, we experience a hurricane. If the temperature and the wind and the atmosphere gets to a certain point in excess, we experience a tornado. If the plants get a little bit too much nutrients or a certain kind of mineral or nutrient in it, it damages the plant. If you put too much soil when you plant a tree, it damages the bottom part of the tree. So it's good for you, something I learned in a class recently. It's good for you to create like a dip so that the tree can sit in, so that right at the bottom of the tree, it doesn't like create fungus or rot. In nature, when we experience excess, it's damaging. So she said, never thought about it like that. I said, me neither. But I was just reflecting on your feeling of angst because of not having what you feel you need. But in reality, what you are wanting is excess. Oh, the tulips are growing because you have what you need. You have what you need. You have a beautiful home. You have a beautiful relationship. You have freedom. You're creative. You've written a beautiful book, you know. And she's like, yeah. I said, so I think it behooves us to trust and think about it like this. Whatever we need will be provided. And whatever we have is in accordance to what the will of God is right now in our lives. And so if we have something that's in the will of God that requires $1 million, it will be provided. If we have something that's under the will of God that requires property, it will be provided. I also went on to say, sometimes there are things that is in the will of God that you're not acknowledging. And until you acknowledge it and activate it through your mind, your words, then it's not going to manifest. It's not going to unfold because you're the activator. You serve as the hands and the heart of God. You serve as the hands and the heart and the mind of God in this physical world. And so if you feeling like I don't have enough, first of all, check in to see, is this ego or is this spirit telling me I need to expand? Once you do that assessment, that true assessment from the earnest part of your heart, then you simply just need to align with that which God is calling you to expand in, or in the way that God is trying to tell you to expand. And the way you align is you align your words, your thoughts, your atmosphere, your environment, your inner environment, your outer environment. You align it with those things that you feel called to expand in. And so your language should change. Your efforts should change. Your prayers should be modified to it and aligned with it. Your affirmations, the ways you find yourself using your energy, all of it should be in alignment with that which you feel God is trying to expand you in. And so it's simply that. So we should never find ourselves in a place where we feel lack, we feel anxious, we feel worried. You know, it's like, look, first of all, be present in the here and the now and realize there's much to be grateful for. That's number one. Be grateful. And if you are being called to expand in any way, shape, or form, don't go into anxiety mode or worried or stressed or down. Get excited. Oh, God got me. I'm having these desires. Okay, give thanks, God. Thank you for giving me these desires. Now align yourself with it. But if you don't have that inspiration from a divine place, and it's from the ego, and oftentimes you know that because of how you feel. If it's from the ego, let that go. Be present in the here and the now. Be grateful for the here and the now. Because you are being blessed at the level that is appropriate for your life by the will of God. And again, once it's the will of God for you to expand, align with it and allow it to unfold, because it will, guaranteed. That's the word. That's the word. Let me get in here and start to work. Lord of mercy. Give thanks for tuning in. If this blessed your heart, then like it, share it with those who may benefit from it. And if you're in Atlanta, stop by the garden one day and say, hey, yeah? All right. Peace and love.